Okay, so each class, we ask a member of the class come up and speak about their experience during the class and kind of what they took from it, what they liked, what they didn't like, just a little bit about their experience. And then, so this year, we asked Anji Maddox to come up and please speak for us.
Okay.
You have 25 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell her that. Take that over.
Yes, I think because I'm pretty tall. Hi everyone, and I'm sorry they asked me to speak for y'all on behalf of our class. But anyways, because, thank you Todd, and his AKA Timer Todd. So every time we had a speaker, he was in the back between posing and giving the, cut it off. So I decided, since I was told I was only given a few minutes, not 20, so I thought I'm gonna make a script here, I'd be here all night. So anyways, again, my name is Anji Maddox, and I'm gonna start off by saying I'm a private investigator. I actually have an office here in Round Rock. And I have a criminal justice degree, and I also was a juvenile probation officer for many years. So, but I've never worked or been a law enforcement officer. So the reason I share that with you is because when I found out they were having a class, I thought, I can do this. This is gonna be a piece of cake. I know all this stuff. I got this. Let me tell y'all, I stand corrected. So this class was very, very enlightening. Boy, was it enlightening. Some of our topics that we had were, and we would come to class every day, or every week, with our nice little binder, and some of our topics were death investigations, ethics, communications, dispatch, important. We also had SWAT, and we got to go into BEAR. That was really exciting. And we had crisis negotiators. We had force science. That was interesting. I learned a lot with that. Firearms, bank robberies. Yeah, I like the bank robberies too. We had the canine unit. That was awesome. I loved meeting the dogs and how they work. We, of course, had the driving, and yes, I was the car that ran over 4 cones, aka children, and officers like, okay, you can stop now, you can stop. And I'm thinking, I've done years of surveillance, I've got this. No, I was killing children, they were weeping, they were telling me to stop. I thought, oh my goodness, I can't drive a patrol car. Then, of course, we had the practicals. I'm gonna come back to the practicals, and he, of course, talked about, Chief Banks talked about some of the comments with the practicals. But anyways, one of the things that I really, really learned with this class is that the community really needs to support these officers. They lead, as we all know, extremely stressful lives. The community needs to embrace them and support them, because by doing that, you are making our community a safer place, keeping you and your family safe, as well as these officers. These men and women leave their homes every day, and the safety of their homes, as well as their families, not knowing if they're going to return. They're doing this for all of you. They're doing this for me. They're doing this for their community. The city of Round Rock is actually very, very blessed with a phenomenal department. Chief Banks, his officers, his staff, the dispatchers, along with all the amazing volunteers, they're truly top-notch. They are professional, they're humble, they're kind, they're devoted, dedicated, and educated. Educated, let me talk about that for just a little bit. I was personally blown away by the training facility. I actually had no idea how big of a training facility they had. And I know a lot of the classmates thought the same thing. And they kept talking about phases, phase 1, phase 2, and then we're gonna have this. And I thought, my goodness, this thing's gonna be massive. And I don't know if y'all realize, but the training these officers go through, it's very intense, it's frequent, it's extensive, and it's very in-depth. In fact, so much that other departments around the U.S. are starting to model their training program. That says a lot for this department. The CPA class, Citizens Police Academy, I highly recommend to everyone because it gives you just a brief spotlight into their lives, into their very unpredictable lives. I have a whole new level of respect and admiration for our law enforcement officers. Not that I didn't before, I'm just saying after going through this class, I was like, oh my goodness, you people are awesome. On the last night of our class, which was last week, I'm going back to those practicals that we were talking about. That's what we did. There were situations such as a traffic stop with a bunch of drunk partiers. She was serving pizza earlier, one of them. A crazy man in a building hearing voices. A desperate man on some property, and of course he had a gun on him. And then a volatile domestic violence situation. So we had to go through all of these different scenarios as a police officer to see how we would act in that situation. Well, I got shot 3 times. Yeah, and by the 4th practical, I wasn't getting shot again. And so I, of course, shot a raging husband as he was pulling out what I thought was a gun, and I think it was a cell phone. So I didn't do so great there either. Some of the comments while we were going through these practicals, I was overhearing all of them. They were like, oh my God, this is so stressful. I can't do this. I could never do this job. And I am about to have an anxiety attack. That's just a few things that I overheard just last week. So as I drove home that night, I was recapping all the scenarios and where I went wrong and why the heck I got shot 3 times. And I realized my instinct was to resort to my training. My training is in de-escalation skills and techniques. So guess what? I'm using my de-escalation training and I got shot. So I'm not saying that's not a critical asset in certain situations, but being an officer, they must resort to their training. And that's why this city and this department is so fortunate. These officers are so well trained, they will naturally resort to their training in a crisis situation. Again, this has been all very, very enlightening for me, and I know all my classmates as well. I'd like to end with this class was a true honor and privilege to be a part of. It truly was. I want to thank Chief Banks, all your officers, Officer Todd Spradman, aka Timer Todd, Officer Mike McCabe, what'd you call him? McBabe, sorry, McBabe. The SWAT officers, all of those who spoke, I can't remember all their names, I was just so intrigued with what they were saying. The staff, the administration, and the amazing volunteers. I mean, I was so impressed with all the volunteers. And this is what I'm gonna say, job well done. I pray for all of you every single day. And I pray that you stay safe, you go home to your families, and that the community embraces you and respects you. And now my son is a police officer, not with this department, but I feel like they're all family to me now. And I feel like the rest of the class would feel the same way. So thank you so much, all of you officers, everybody. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you to your families. You are all very, truly appreciated. Thank you. Good night.